All right, guys, it is a little after 4 o'clock in the morning, probably like around 4:10 precisely. I've been out here walking around my neighborhood since 3:30, 3:35, and the reason why is because my dog apparently ate a bunch of condiments off of the coffee table yesterday at some point, and now she has an upset stomach and she has to go out all the time. And someone has an irrigation leak. And you know what? This just started leaking. Let me turn this around. That just started leaking. I've gone around the neighborhood already twice, and all this water wasn't running down the road before. So they're gonna wake up to something wonderful. Irrigation leaks can cause massive consumption increase, of course, and luckily that one is easily visible. Doing what I do for work, we see or we find irrigation leaks eventually, but only after people have already lost, in many cases, hundreds of thousands of gallons of water. And so they have this enormous bill, and they're shocked. They have a sticker shock, right? And they call us up and they can't figure out what's going on. And you walk into their backyard and find it in the back corner or something like that. Sometimes it's underground. Like that one's gonna be pretty easy to get to. This is probably the sprinkler head. Someone's probably driven over it, backed over it, or something like that. But yeah, it's very dark out here. But I decided to come out here and take this walk. Of course, it's hard to see me now, but I am shooting this on the Osmo Pocket 3, so it has very good low light capabilities, but this is extremely dark right here. One of the street lights doesn't work. But my dog woke me up whining at some point. I kept hearing something, but I was kind of in that strange state of sleep where you think that you're hearing it in your dreams, right? But the dog was whining. I was like, oh great. We've had to take her out more than normal over the past 24 hours. So I got up and I took her out, and I thought, you know what? I've got to be up in an hour and a half anyway. When I come back in, I'm not going to be able to sleep well. As it is, I'm already stimulated by just walking her. So I went back inside, changed my clothes, and decided I'd go out and take a walk. I have had a habit of taking walks for most of my life, and over the past 6 months or so, I have neglected it, and it is beginning to show, because it's beginning to show around my waistline. It's beginning to show in the way I feel, things like that. And so I need to get ahead of this a little bit before it gets away with itself. So I thought, I wasn't sure if I'll walk 3 miles or if I'll just walk an hour. It takes me approximately 16 minutes to walk an hour because I walk at about 3.5 mile pace. I thought, maybe I'll walk an hour in the morning and an hour at night and take off a little bit of the weight. Maybe start feeling a little bit better. I work out all the time. I work out every day, just about, but I don't run. I want to save my knees. If I'm going to play the long game, I need to save my knees. But I do a lot of walking, so I thought, maybe I'll walk for an hour in the morning and an hour at night for a while to maybe take off some of this weight. I would like to lose about 20 pounds. If I lost 20 pounds, I would look really jacked. Because I do have a pretty decent physique, especially for a man my age. But if I lost a little bit of the extra body fat, I would look even better. And it's not really so much about the looks, it's about how I feel. I'm going to feel a whole lot better. So that's my intent. So I don't know if I'll find out at the end of this walk. I'll find out if I'm more committed to 3 miles in the morning and 3 miles at night, or an hour in the morning, an hour at night. We'll see, we'll find out, because there's a big difference in the end of all of it. But anyway, I'm not worried about losing the extra sleep, because I don't really sleep that well anyway. I never really hardly ever sleep, all the way through the night anyway. I gotta switch arms, or switch hands. Hold on. All right. That arm was beginning to get tired. So, yeah. I figured I'd use my dog wanting to go out as a good excuse to start doing something that I already need to be doing anyway. And walking is good for you. It's something you can do your entire life. Even if you can't do too much of anything else. And quite honestly, if you can't get the walking in, then you're not going to be able to do too much of anything else. So anyway, I was in a home the other day, and I saw something that I thought would make just one of the most wonderful gifts you could ever get anybody, maybe even for yourself. I've never seen anything like it before. So I'm going to pass this on to you guys. I'm going to recommend this, and if I were you, I would take my recommendation. But I walked into this house, and into this is a very large house, like close to 6,000 square feet. And in one of the living rooms, yes, one of the living rooms, there was, because it's like kind of like two houses put together, they had a coffee table, unlike any I'd ever seen in my life. And this coffee table was round, and it had a glass top, and it had a light in it, but it was like a perimeter light inside the glass that would change colors. And underneath the glass was sand, and there was this little magnetic ball, and this thing would draw pictures. You can program it to draw pictures. So I can't remember what the picture was, but I didn't really see the ball at first. I saw the picture. I said, "This is really interesting. I've never seen anything like this before." And he says, "Yes, it's called a Sisyphus table." So Google Sisyphus table, and you'll see something that looks really cool. I think it's mainly one company that makes this. Now, I don't know, maybe there's other knockoffs or whatever the case might be. But nevertheless, I was fascinated by this. And I said, "Does it draw other pictures?" He says, "Yeah. It can draw lots and lots of other pictures, and it takes a long time." Now, they come in these tables, these little Sisyphus tables, come in different sizes. There are some that sit on your desktop, and they range all the way to a full-size or a very large coffee table. But nevertheless, they all do the same thing. And you turn it on, you program it, and this little ball just moves. And what it does is the way it clears the sand is it goes around and creates a ring that, eventually turns completely inward until the ball gets into the center of the table. And then it begins to draw this picture. And it takes a very long time. But it's very relaxing to watch. Like, I could just sit there and watch it all day. And with it lit up and changing colors, it makes it even more pleasant to look at and admire. And this is something I would like to get either myself or my wife at some point. But I asked the man, I said, "How much is this?" He goes, "You're going to be kind of surprised. This costs around $3,000. Well, I looked it up. I got a car coming. I got to be careful. I looked it up, and he grossly exaggerated the price. I saw, well, the most expensive one. They had a coffee table that was circular and another one that was rectangular, and the biggest ones you can get them for a little under $1,000. But so it wasn't nearly as much as he said. But they have much smaller ones that cost just a couple $100s. Anyway, so this is a great idea. Like, you don't want to get this just for anybody. This is something you want to gift someone very special. You know, the amount you spend is going to be a reflection of how you feel about that person, obviously, right? And it's something you might want to invest in for yourself. That light. It's something you might want to invest in for yourself. So, yeah, if you are looking for a way to relax and you want to just look at something artistic and just very pretty, check out the Sisyphus table. It's definitely well worth the time to peruse. So on my walk this morning, I decided to do this without my phone. I'm just clocking myself with my analog watch, my Timex watch, and I decided to do this without any kind of music, completely unplugged. Usually when I'll take walks, I'll listen to something. But it's also really hard for me to find things I'm willing to settle on to listen to. I don't know if I get annoyed or if I just have a really short attention span for things, but it's hard for me to find podcasts that I really enjoy. So I'll end up usually listening to music. I have a feeling, though, that doing that has probably what's led to I keep trying to get the light out of the picture here. I have a feeling it's probably what's led to the ringing in my ears, the incessant ringing. Although it's not really bad. It's not really bad. It's like white noise, just kind of in the background. So it's not driving me crazy. I gotta switch hands again here. Hold on. Yeah, so it's not driving me crazy. I mean, I guess it could if I just focused on it, and I don't. But it's there, and I've kind of wondered how long it's been there. Maybe it's been there a lot longer than I realized. But listening to music with earbuds in or headphones on, I'm sure has contributed to that. But also, when I was playing piano all the time, I had a digital piano. Felt like an actual real keyboard, like a real piano. But anyway, I would play that, and so I think that probably led to some of the ear ringing that I have today. I guess it's kind of inevitable. It seems like most older people eventually get that anyway. It could be worse. What I find actually more annoying than anything else is it compromises my vision. I wonder at what point am I going to have to get glasses? Like, I'm very far-sighted. I can see everything in basically 4K in any direction I look when I'm looking out, right? But nearsighted wise, my vision's terrible, and all my life I've had tremendously good eyesight, but not anymore. But I've noticed it getting even worse, and so my mind goes to all these places like, oh great, I think about the worst case scenario. Oh great, what if I have? What if they examine my eyes? I have cataracts. Now I'm not a fatalist. I'm not a hypochondriac either. I don't typically do things like that. But when you've had good eyesight all your life and then something happens and all of a sudden, oh, now I have to have reading glasses. And now it's not so easy. Oh, someone's coming. I gotta get off the road a little bit. Here, let's get on the sidewalk. Yeah, like I said, it's very dark in some of these places. It amazes me, taking a walk this early in the morning, how many people are leaving for work. I remember when I worked for Publix at the deli plant that I had to report to work at 5 o'clock in the morning. Let's see what time it is. Okay, I'll walk a couple more minutes. But yeah, I had to report to work at 5 o'clock in the morning. And apparently there are people around in this neighborhood that have to do the same thing. And I do not miss those days. But it's evident all around me when I'm driving my wife to work in Tampa in the morning that just the volume of traffic is absolutely insane. You just can't, on I-4, you just can't get away from it, right? It's nuts. And every day you're gonna run into backups there because some goofball, some egotistical, self-absorbed, self-important, I don't want to curse, but anyway, you know what I mean. Somebody like that, who's got to be number one all the time. They always cause an accident at some point and put everybody behind. But, I guess I don't want to prolong the conversation because I don't have much time left in my walk, but now I understand why as people get older they slow down. Because you figure, heck, I've made it this far. I need to take fewer chances because maybe I can make it a little bit further, right? I mean, that is what happens. Hold on. So, anyway, yeah, it's a little after 4:30 now. So, I've been talking for about 20 minutes with no idea of what I was going to talk about. I just thought I'd take advantage of the time while I was ambling through the neighborhood to touch base with you guys. And maybe I'll do more of it. Did you like this video? Do you want me to make more videos like this? Because perhaps I will. It's a good time for me to do it, provided that I actually have something to talk about. And by the way, if there is something that you would like me to remark upon and just make comments on, let me know. That would give me fodder for conversation. I will tell you that I'm coming back up here. I'm rounding the corner again, where these people had this irrigation leak and they have turned it off. So they've caught it. Good for them. Good for them. They caught it early. So if you have an irrigation system, keep close tabs on it. Because in my line of work, we see it all the time. And oftentimes it's already when a lot of damage has been done. All right, so enough of this, okay, guys? I think I'm done. I think I'm done for the morning. And I'll just catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day. In the meantime, be wise.